If the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal.
Let's get into our content, what breadcrumbing really is, okay? Before anything else, I want to get everybody on the same page. Breadcrumbing is not manipulation. It is not playing games. It is not withholding out of spite, okay? Breadcrumbing is intentional effort control. Is how you protect your heart, preserve your energy, expose a man's intentions, observe his consistency, and test his capacity without you overgiving. That's what breadcrumb does, okay? It is data collection. It is emotional discipline, and it is boundary enforcement. And it also teaches you to hold on to your body longer so you can stop giving it away so freely for the barest of minimums. Breadcrumbing will tell you who is ready to lead you, who is ready to provide, who is ready to pursue, who has emotional maturity, who deserves access, and who needs to be moved off the roster, never to be talked to again. That's what breadcrumbing is, because y'all keep confusing it, and this is why you have a hard time doing it. The nigga still breadcrumbing you. You scared to lose him. He know he got you. Shake it up. Now, breadcrumbing is not love, it is structure. And a lot of y'all dating need structure because you've been running rampant, doing it all wrong. Now, why must women breadcrumb? Number one reason, to keep the advantage in dating. We have been on the bottom of the totem pole for too long, sis. We have been breadcrumbed for decades and did not even realize it. You don't like other women because a nigga made y'all enemies. You're competing with another woman because you want the man to yourself. You don't even realize the mistakes we've made in this whole dating thing. We shouldn't even. I shouldn't even know what the next woman he talking to look like or her name, because I should not be comparing myself to her, trying to figure out why he left me for her. When I should say, you know what, you take him, and not in a nasty way. You take him and see exactly why I'm giving them to your ass. Okay. Now, men breadcrumb women naturally. Women just don't breadcrumb with intention. Breadcrumbing puts you back in control, sis. That's for one. Number two, to stop being overused. Too many of y'all are offering yourself up because you're doing too much. You don't get drained emotionally, financially, or spiritually by a man who never deserved that version of you. You're going to be able to keep some groceries. You're going to be able to keep some of your time. You know why? Because it's not going freely to somebody who don't even want you anyways. That's what breadcrumbing is. Number three, it gets your needs met. A lot of y'all don't know how to tell them y'all needs up front. Nigga, do you got the money? All right, let me move around. See, you don't want to be up front because I keep telling y'all to leave with the gold digger shit, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to be honest, okay? This is how you're going to get your needs met, okay? Breadcrumbing reveals who's going to step up when you stop over-functioning. When you stop laboring for love, you finna see who finna step up, who really like you, sis, who really fuck with you like that. That's what this revealed. Number four, it identifies a man who can give to you in abundance. Remember I told y'all grand gestures? That's what breadcrumbing does. It identifies a man who can give to you in abundance. It filters the other men out fast. The ones who don't want to rise to the occasion, the ones who don't care about your needs being met, they fade off fast when you breadcrumb because you're not giving them enough. Good. We're not giving whole meals no more. Only to those who provide grand gestures. I told you the first step in breadcrumbing is healing. If you don't go apologize to yourself and forgive yourself for the version of you that accepted that mess, breadcrumbing is not going to work. So you can't be mad at yourself, be angry at yourself for the decision you already made. So you could not do better if you did not know better. So in healing, you apologize to yourself because you realize that the nigga couldn't do what you didn't allow. But because you allowed it, it's your fault. You can't blame him. Point the fingers back at you. Do all of this. And then you're going to forgive yourself. And we're not coming back to this again. Okay? If you're still wounded, in survival mode, living off trauma responses, attached to inconsistency, addicted to struggle love, or used to the almost ain't enough thing, then breadcrumbing is not going to help you, sis. Those are things that you have to heal. Heal the wounds. You're going to have to come out of survival mode. Think abundance. Remember, I told you when you're in survival mode, there is no feminine energy with that. Women don't make shit happen. Men do. So come out of survival mode. Stop responding off trauma. Heal that stuff from your childhood. That abandonment issue, that attachment issue, that mommy issue. that daddy issue. Okay, I got that, Fox. I'll answer. Give me a moment. Bring it back up, but let me get through the content. I'll answer that, okay? So you got to heal all those things, okay? You got to stop thinking that inconsistency means, oh, well, he just might not be in the mood today. No, because a nigga who wants to will. Inconsistent shit. No, okay? And almost is not enough. Almost don't count. It's just not enough. It's either is or it ain't. Unhealed women, for some reason, y'all reward bad behavior. How do y'all do that? Y'all still fucking a nigga. Now, I'm confused. He ain't doing nothing that serves you. You don't like nothing about how he treats you, but for some reason, he still has access to the most precious part of you. Y'all chase half effort. You see that little bit of effort and you say, oh my God, that's great. He ain't even did a 16th. Y'all confuse attention for consistency. Just because he pops up and sees you every day and smoke a blunt with you, you think that's consistency. He just bored. He don't got nothing else to do. No other options. Okay? Y'all accept broken love because it looks familiar. Because you've been with a nigga for all these years and all these months, you're going to keep accepting the shit because you don't want to catch a body. All right. Healing breaks your old patterns, sis, so breadcrumbing can work in your favor. If you don't heal, you're going to breadcrumb wrong. You're going to always be the one who he get over on. Now, what does healing actually look like? Okay, I said apologize and forgive yourself, right? It actually looks like you no longer tolerate that mess. The bare minimum, you're not looking for that no more. You learn what you will compromise on. You do know what you will compromise on. This is what happens when you heal. Because now you have set some standards. So you know what you will compromise on. And then you know what you won't. Okay? You learn your real needs. The emotional, the financial, the spiritual, the mental, the lifestyle. You have lifestyle needs. You have emotional needs. You have mental needs. You get all of that when you heal. Needs guide the test. Tests guide your choices. Choices protect your future. Let me say that again. Once you identify all of your needs will guide these tests in the Breadcrumb series. Okay? These tests will now guide your choices and your decisions. Because however he performing this test, you finna make a decision where you finna go next. And those choices are going to protect your future. Because if you get the hell on up out of there before it gets too rough, guess what? You just dodged another bullet. Now, self-evaluation. Each one of y'all got to do a self-evaluation. This self-evaluation is what most women lie to themselves. But now you got to be honest, sis. You got to be able to identify your own toxic traits, confront your unhealthy patterns, own where you went wrong with each one of these niggas so you don't go wrong again, and see how you contributed to your heartbreak. Because I know you think that you didn't do nothing. I'm going to tell you what of the biggest fault of yours. You stayed too long. You did do something. See, that's your responsibility. You stayed too long. You stopped valuing you and start valuing him more. You stayed too long. You stopped trying to date because you kept thinking that you had to fuck. You was thinking wrong. That's what I'm saying. Change the way you think, and you can change your outcome. It is not embarrassment. It is for clarity, sis, okay? Once you see yourself honestly, you stop choosing men blindly. That's why you have to do a self-evaluation, all right? Next, the needs assessment. The reason why you don't know what you need financially, spiritually, emotionally, lifestyle, because you've never did a needs assessment, sis. You've never clocked your own needs. So before you can breadcrumb a man, you definitely got to know what you tested him for. What type of needs you need met. If you don't know what it is, you're playing a long game for no reason. You need to know what matters to you, what is non-negotiable, what qualifies a man, and what disqualifies him with your needs. That's why you got to do the needs assessment. I want to talk about the grand gestures, okay? Because y'all hear me keep talking about that, and I want to talk about it right now, because this is the final stage. This is when a man is giving you grand gestures, sis. This is where you determine if you finna drop or cut off your entire roster and just deal with this one dude. Grand gestures are big gestures, but I cannot tell you what's big to you, sis. Your grand gesture could be a number of things, okay? A grand gesture is a major action that proves he's ready to claim, cover, and commit to you. The 3 C's. That is what you're looking for with a grand gesture, okay? This is what qualifies a man to end your roster and you stop giving them other niggas attention. Examples of these grand gestures are the following. You're going to be looking for these things, okay? Because if he got you here, if he's invested with you here, sis, then you know that the nigga fuck with you. If he is no investment here, and make sure it's a real investment, not a fake one. Because I only knew you know that. A real proposal, like a marriage. Or maybe he proposed a commitment ceremony. Or maybe he said he want to add you to a business he started. Yeah, okay? Paying all your bills. That's a big grand gesture, because now he get to free up your money. You get to do what you want with your money. That means if he's willing to do it for 2 or 3 months, he may be willing to do it for the next year. So ask him to pay it up for the year and see what he says. It's a grand gesture. Moving you into his home with no financial burden. If you are comfortable moving in with him, because remember, them his bills already. So you ain't because he already got his bills. You want to know how you get provided for in full? Move in with a nigga who already got his bills, and don't ever talk about 50-50. Don't even bring that up. Okay? Buying you a home. You need a home for your kids. You got kids. You want them to get a home. If he buy you one, he put down the down payment. Yeah, grand gesture. Restructure his life to prioritize you. Let's just say you're a single mom. This a man who don't have kids, or maybe he do. He restructured his life to include you and your kids. You and your kids. The entire package. He restructured his life to include y'all. That's a grand gesture. Every nigga won't do that. What you gonna do with that, sis? Especially if he's meaning it. Leading spiritually. If this is a man that wants to make sure that you're growing your spirit, is healthy and you connected how you should be, is that a grand gesture? Creating emotional peace, is that a grand gesture? These are examples of grand gestures. I cannot tell you which one is yours, sis. You want to know what my grand gesture is? Paying all my bills up for 2 years. That's a grand gesture. I can give him some attention just by himself for now. For the next 2 years, for the next 2 years, hold on, it's still a crumb. I ain't gave the whole meal. For the next 2 years, he gonna have all my attention by himself. If he can take care of the bills for the next 2 years, that's a grand gesture to me. But if he can't cover it for me, then he said, I can't do 2, I can do 1. He got my attention for a year. After a year, it's up for grabs. I don't know. I don't give the whole meal no more. Every grand gesture will touch the emotional part of you, the mental part, the spiritual part, the financial part, and your lifestyle. Remember we talked about you have needs in each one of those categories. Remember I said do the needs assessment. Grand gestures knocks out every last one of those categories for your needs. Because a grand gesture is going to make you feel fucking grand. And you're going to feel supreme. Okay? You might ask, is a grand gesture valuable enough for me to release the roster? Depends on how big it is, sis. Yes, it is if it's big enough. But you don't leave your roster for inconsistency. You don't leave it from a compliment. You don't leave it for vibes. You don't dump your roster for the bare minimum. You don't go on cheap dates, and that's not why you dump your roster, and you don't dump it for the same day attention. When you get rid of that roster, make sure you getting rid of that roster because you know that this person here got you. If you can't safely tell me he got you in all parts, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, lifestyle, then we're not dumping the roster. Because where he drops the ball, somebody else in his roster fills in. That is the purpose of a roster, sis. I told you, once you identify your needs, then you can see exactly how you get these niggas to fulfill your needs. The roster and breadcrumbing go hand in hand. You do not leave the roster for simple stuff. You leave the roster for impact. Anything that impacts your life in a positive way, that's when you can let go of the roster. If it's not impacting in a positive way, lifting you up to the next level, we're not leaving our roster behind. They go with us through every season in our life until somebody does it. Every season, not one, every. Emotions and sex are not a part of this system. Move out that way. I never said like these men, love these men, fuck these men. You never heard me say that. I never advised you to like, love, or hunch. Not one time did you hear me say that, right? Okay. Why? Because emotions will distort your judgment, sis. And sex will bind you to a man who has not earned you. If you give him your body too soon, because you do that and because you're scared to catch more bodies, you're going to bind to him. You're going to be stuck there because you don't want to catch bodies. Listen to me. Before you give any other men your body, even your husband, If you in this live today, listen to me, because I think that y'all keep getting this. To love is to hurt. Anything that you love will hurt you. The only things that can hurt you is the things that you love. It is impossible for things that you don't love to hurt you. So in order for you have to realize to love is to hurt. So if you think just because you love somebody that they wasn't supposed to hurt you, to love is to hurt. If your mother died right now, you love her, that's going to hurt you. To love is to hurt. To like is to lose. When you like a nigga, you lose parts of you or you lose something. When you remember these two concepts, sis, you will understand exactly how to work breadcrumbing in your favor. All right. Now, everything you love will hurt you at some point. Everything you like, you will risk losing. But this breadcrumbing system will reduce the hurt and the loss if you get it done right. Okay? So get your copies of your ebooks. Listen, I can't stress y'all enough. Book your one-on-ones if you need one-on-one structured help, okay? And your one-on-ones are going to be either 30-minute, 55-minute sessions. You're going to have a follow-through plan for the next 6 months, but you need to be able to do things of that nature. So book your one-on-one. Get your ebook copies. The link is in the bio. And then we're going to come back here in 2 weeks for another live, because we're going to keep this breadcrumbing series going, because that's what we do every 2 weeks. So I'll be back here on December 27th for sure. The 27th, okay? It's already up. Go register for it. It's already up. December 27th is our next live. And then make sure that y'all catch my random lives throughout the week, because I will be decoding niggas every chance I get. Because the more we learn about these niggas, the better off we're going to be, so we can stop getting played with. All right. Ladies, I enjoyed y'all. I will see y'all in a random live in a couple of days, but I definitely will be back here for this one in 2 weeks. Y'all have a great evening.